Hey everyone and welcome. Now we all know we've got two-tier policing, we've got two-tier justice, we've got two-tier everything. We also know that when you mention two-tier, they really don't like it because they know it's true and they can't defend it. Remember Mark Rowley, the chief of the Met Police, ripping a microphone out of a journalist's hands for asking that very same question? Well, here is two-tier Keir, the farmer harmer Starmer, doing exactly the same thing verbally.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
This was when he was asked about two-tier Keir and about the jibe. Have a listen, and while you do, just have a watch of how rattled he is by this. He knows that we know, and he's trying to gaslight the entire nation to think that it isn't two-tier. It's just he's looking after people by completely ignoring the elephant in the room. Have a listen to what he said first.
I shook them by the hand and said, thank you for what you've done. They were back at work, unbelievably. Yeah. They had been subjected and seen the most awful scenes, had to deal with the parents rushing back to the scene. And within hours of me shaking their hands, they were back on the front line. Yeah. Because thugs were throwing things at them and they had to get into their right. The very same officers. And what was being said on the front line? Two-tier policing. Yeah. I'm going to stand, if I have the choice on this, and you're right to challenge me, I'm going to stand with frontline police officers doing their best to keep order on our streets, and I'll stand with them every single time.
Does it get to you, that two-tier kid thing? It's unfair, completely unfair then?
Well, I'm going to stand with our police officers on the front line. I shook them by the hand and said, thank you for going to the most difficult scene that any of us can imagine. By the time I had arrived back in London, they were putting their riot gear on to go out on the front line, to have things hurled at them, to see their fellow officers injured, and to have people shouting at them two-tier policing, exposing them to threat. If you're asking me, do I stand with them or do I not? I stand with them every single time.
That is, of course, unless it's a Muslim riot, because then they know where to be seen. Twice we saw that recently, didn't we? One in Leeds and one in Rotherham, I think it was, where the roundabout, where they were all armed. You know, considering the riots that he was happy that they were cracking down on weren't armed, he didn't say much about the Muslim ones, did he? Now that's why it's two-tier. Keir, you muppet. What an absolute joke this man is. We're being led by a kakistocracy. The stupidest in our society seem to be leading the rest of us, and I'm sick to the back teeth of being gaslit by people like him. He knows it's two-tier, you know it's two-tier. We're policed and no one else is. Simple. Let me know what you think though, I'd like to know your opinion. What a snivelly little bastard, eh? See you on the next one.